Hey guys, my name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have my mom here and we're just gonna be doing some quick little book reviews of like what my mom has been reading for the past like year or so, because I've got a reader. Yeah, my mom is like an avid reader now.
Oh my gosh.
And so it's been really fun just like having her read some of my all-time favorite books.
I'm really bad at taking notes. I realized the notes that I took are just so generic. I didn't even write what the book was about. It was just how I liked it, and it's predictable,
the important
and
things.
that kind of and so now I'm trying to be more on top of it, especially because we're starting to get more into mystery ones, which is a whole nother thing, because you have to take notes to remember stuff, especially when you get the gift of not being able to remember stuff when you get younger.
Yeah, I was gonna say her typical genre taste is like usually like romance, like maybe some like historical fiction vibes, I think, but now I'm starting to get her into some like mystery thrillers.
A little bit.
She's read one mystery thriller and she's currently reading another, so we will talk about those as well. Let's just start with like, what's the book that has stood out the most to you, like the one that you still remember that you're like, that is my favorite, maybe the favorite out of all of these that you've read so far?
I think it's gotta be this one.
The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
It is such a good one. I don't know if it's because I grew up in Hollywood area, you know, California, but I feel kind of like I get the vibe of what this book is about, and the kind of lifestyle and the certain stigmas that are put upon you when you're in Hollywood.
So, you're definitely my mom, because this is like in my top 3 favorite books of all time. Like I always debate whether or not this book is my favorite book of all time. Like I love this book so much, and Evelyn Hugo is like one of my favorite characters, because I love that she makes mistakes and she's not like a perfect character. Like there are times in this book where I very strongly disagree with her decisions and I'm like, you stupid, but also like it just makes her more real. And yeah, I knew you would love this because you love like old Hollywood stuff.
And Taylor's writing for me is so, it flows. I mean, it's not like you're actually trying to like comprehend it. It's just one of those that you just click right away. I like her style. Really, it really made my adventure into reading and stuff. It really helped. This
was the first one, right, that you read that like really got my mom into reading in the first place. So it's pretty awesome that this is the book that she read the most long ago, but it's still the one that stands out the most. You know, like,
too much I can't tell you, but it's really good.
That's really great. I love that.
If a person who doesn't read, can't remember stuff, and has poor note-taking,
still remembers this one. Also, since then, she's also read 2 more Taylor Jenkins Reid books. She's read One True Loves and Maybe in Another Life, which I forgot to bring Maybe in Another Life, but she's read both of these as well. And do you have a preference on which one of these you liked more, like One True Loves or Maybe in Another Life?
I think they're both equally good. I think I probably even gave them 5 stars.
Ooh.
But you have to bring up stuff for me to remember stuff. So here you go. This is what I love. She remembers. I don't know how you do it, babe. You remember every book. A detail is pretty much on everything, and who wrote the book.
I love.
And who wrote? I mean, I'm so. How you do it, babe? I can't remember what I had for dinner yesterday.
So One True Loves is a favorite.
Yeah.
This one hits. It hits different.
It does hit.
This one, if you didn't know, is about this girl who she believes that her husband dies when he's in this helicopter crash, and then 4 years later she's like engaged to this new guy that was like a childhood friend that she grew up with, and then they find out that her husband actually survived and that he's coming back home, and she has to like deal with that and cope with that and figure out what she's gonna do. It
really gets into description of all the things you kind of wouldn't think about, which really draws you in. Some of the things it was saying, I didn't even think of that, but oh my goodness, and just such gut-wrenching emotionals that come up with this one. It was pretty well written.
Well, and I love the way that this book kind of like talks about how grief can really change a person, because like when you go through something like that, like your husband dying, it really like changes you too. So like you're not really the same person you were when that happened, you know, and when you last saw him. So like it kind of talks about how grief really changes a person, and
the family dynamics too within your own, and then your in-laws and that sort of thing. It's it really makes you realize how much they completed you, or you know.
All right, I think they're dying to know your thoughts on Birthday Girl, which is like half the reason why I wanted to do this video, because Birthday Girl is juicy, correct?
Yeah. Remind me again. I'm doing it. My notes are so bad. I don't have the book. Oh my gosh. So
this one is about this girl who's dating this guy, and then the dude gets arrested, and then because of that, they end up having to go live at her boyfriend's dad's house. And her boyfriend's dad's name is Pike, and
cute
he's
name. Love that.
Yeah, he's amazing. 10 out of 10. Yeah, he's a bit older than her. There's an age gap for sure. It's very forbidden, very juicy.
Yeah, and this is one of the things she loves so much about books, and I can see why.
Yeah, and yeah, I got my mom to read this.
I text her, oh babe, juicy.
Yeah, juicy. She's like, I got to the juicy
now
parts.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it was so funny because when you first were reading this, you were like, is it as juicy as Twilight? And I was like, what?
Oh yeah, the first book. Oh my gosh.
I was like, what do you mean?
I forgot what it was like to be a teenager. Oh my gosh.
And I was like, this is like,
yeah, there's some good parts in here.
Up to here, and like Twilight is like here.
Nice glass of wine.
Yeah, no, this one is so great. And I love the forbidden, like, I just love like forbidden romances like this.
Yeah, it was steamy.
Yeah, very steamy.
I mean, it's just like, it makes you, I enjoyed it because I loved how they came to each other and how, I want to say organic it happened, it flew. Yeah. It flowed really well, and I liked them both, you know, they're great. All the characters, you know. But yeah, it was well done.
5 out of 5?
Absolutely.
5 out of 5.
I'm so glad you reminded me what it was.
One that she read fairly recently that I know that she just really enjoyed, and I'm also debating if this is my favorite book that I've read in 2020 so far, and it's The Dream Daughter by Diane Chamberlain. Because this one is like, especially
I think this was the first one that I got like into, not mysteries, but a whole different,
it's something a little different from romance for her, for sure. It's like more of a like huge scope of a story that's kind of like historical fiction and kind of sci-fi vibes a little bit.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Yeah, because this book is like a time travel book about this mother and daughter, so I think that's why I especially loved it. Yeah. But it's about this girl who was in the 1970s, and she's pregnant, and she finds out that her baby's going to be born with something that they can't cure in the 1970s. So she finds out that her brother-in-law is actually from the future, and he's going to help her travel to the year 2001 so that she can save her daughter.
This is where notes would be really good, because how your mind stretches between going back and forth, and I don't know if there's spoilers, but anyway, I just think that it's brilliant writing. I would like to sometimes talk about how do you write that. Do you write it all one and then all one of the other era or whatever, and then blend it? I don't know. It was really a mind stretch. Good one though. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, this book had some twists towards the end that I could not believe, and I was just like imagining putting myself in her situation, being like, how do you decide things like this? Like how do you what? It was just so like mind-boggling to me to imagine myself in her situation, and like how heartbreaking and sad all the things that she has to deal with as far as like her family goes.
Yeah, and then knowing that she read it and felt so much about it, and we're mother-daughter, and she passed it on to me. Oh, and I would be, I don't know, screen cap this, and oh my gosh, and different parts of the book that just were plot twisting here and there. 5-star for me.
5 stars. Last year, my mom ended up reading my favorite romance of 2019, and that was The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. And this book is just so fun.
It is so cute. How it starts.
So it starts with these twin sisters, and we're following this girl named Olive, and at her sister's wedding, everybody gets food poisoning, including the bride and the groom, except for Olive and this guy Ethan. And so then they have to take the honeymoon, because otherwise the honeymoon would go to waste. No, they don't get along.
They have this whole thing where she
very hate to love vibes.
Absolutely, that's what kind of gets you hooked.
Yeah, and it's very fun. It's like Hawaii in summertime, and just
with a guy you don't like.
Yeah, but it's
and everyone's sick at home, your sister. And you're like, okay, they'll lose it. So she said, use it.
I love really well written hate to love romance, like if it's done right, because sometimes hate to love can get a little like toxic,
right?
But when it's done right like this in like a cute bantery way,
yeah,
I love
banter's
that.
cute.
Yeah, banter.
That's
their banter
what saved the book.
Freaking amazing.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, for reading, you know. Another 5-star.
Another 5-star. Woo! And we have another romance that was also one of my favorites of last year that my mom read, which is the Bromance Book Club.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You read this like right at the start of quarantine, right? Like earlier this year.
Yeah, pandemic. I got a whole list.
She has a whole pandemic reading list.
That one I read pretty quick.
Yeah.
And at certain points and stuff, I Marco Polo'd. Like, it was so intense, but I know she's working or she's, you know, busy or sleeping. Or I don't know what, but I had to, like, get the feels out there right away.
Yes.
Gosh, that's a well-written.
Yeah, this one's super cute because it involves this baseball player who him and his wife are like kind of on the brink of divorce because they're just not like as in love as they used to be, and so he decides to join this bromance book club in order to like read some more romance books to try and understand his wife's emotions better.
That was so cute.
It's so cute.
That is so cute.
Yeah,
really.
I adored Gavin so hard in this book. Like, he's so cute.
I think guys should read this. And they should have a bromance book club.
Yes.
I think it really is good to see how to treat a lady.
Yeah.
You know. But the connections that came from that, oh my gosh, it just, once again, brilliant writing, style of writing, boom.
Yeah.
It was so well done.
It's really funny and like lighthearted for the most part, and just like, and there are 2 twin daughters in this book.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Their family.
You know, it's one of those, like, if you're watching a movie, it's over before you know it, and you're going, what?
Yeah.
But a good, you know, it's a good read. So I totally another 5-star.
Another 5-star. Boom. Maybe we should talk about one that wasn't a 5-star.
Why did I already know that was the one?
Beach read.
Yeah.
This is one that I actually read at the same time as my mom and my sister.
Rachel.
We were all buddy reading it.
Yeah.
And I was the only one that ended up slightly enjoying this.
Yeah.
My mom and my sister both really didn't like this book. And I thought it was fine. It was mostly disappointing for me, but I still gave it like somewhere around a 3-star. But I was the only one that ended up finishing it.
Yeah, you know, for me it was predictable. Poor, it lost my interest. It just didn't connect. I mean, I don't know how to explain like she does, but I mean, it just, the writing was not interesting to me. And I feel bad because, I mean, I don't like to say things about a book like that, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's pandemic or what it was, you know, because, but it didn't click for me, especially after reading the other ones. And the style of writing.
The expectations are really high.
Yeah, you know, so
well, and too, the thing that like irked me about this book was that Gus's character just kind of irked me a lot for some reason. I just didn't really like click with him as a love interest in this book. And also, the mood of this book is strange because it's like they're writing, you know, such different genres, you know, because like she writes romance and he writes literary fiction, and then they're swapping for the summer. But then like some of this book felt like really dark at times, like, and it was like talking about her father's death, and yeah, the mood, like the mood and the tone of this book was kind of like all over the place. It would try to make you think it's like this lighthearted like beach read, but it was actually like really heavy in some parts. And it was alright.
It was okay.
Do you remember the rating you gave for this one?
I think it was like a 2.
Like a 2.
Yeah. You know, I felt bad. I mean, because we were so excited, all of us reading a book.
I know, I was like so stoked to finally be buddy reading something all at the same time, because we've never done that before. And we should probably try to do that again.
I know, I think,
but
yeah, especially
this was
time
a miss.
Of year. Yeah.
This was a miss.
Yeah.
I know this one, you said it didn't really stand out in your mind too much, but she did read In 5 Years by Rebecca Surley. I read this one at the end of last year, around like November time. This one was interesting to me because it takes place in New York, which freaking love, and I read it in the same month that we went to New York, so
and that's how it started, you know, like wow.
But it's really cool because it follows this girl who is living in the year 2020, and then she falls asleep one night on the night that she gets engaged to her boyfriend, and then she falls asleep that night and she wakes up in the year 2025, 5 years into the future, and then she is with a different guy in her dream, and she's living in a different apartment, and she doesn't know where she is, and then it's like, then she wakes up back in 2020 and she's like, what the heck was that? And she doesn't know if it was just like a weird dream or if she like saw the future. And it's just like, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. I mean, it's not like one of my favorites, but I just thought it was like a really well done, like cool, interesting story. There's a really good friendship in this book, I feel like, that really like got to me emotionally.
I don't really remember it.
You don't remember it?
None of that really. What parts I do remember is that it was hard to follow. And then with the writing, like I said, for me, the writing has to be flowing. Well, for me, I think it was, I'd put it down, I'd pick it up, I'd have to read another page or whatever prior because it just didn't connect with me.
Let's do Aristotle and Dante. Do you remember this one? It's been a while since she's read this one, but this one, oh my god, this is another one that might be in my like top 5 all-time favorite books ever. Just
We Are the Ants.
Yeah, well, yeah, We Are the Ants is
and
up
the
there.
Humans.
The Humans is up there. I feel like my top, like every time I think about my top 5, I'm like, okay, Evelyn Hugo, Aristotle and Dante, We Are the Ants, A Little Life, and
which I still have to read that one.
I don't think that's a good idea. No.
Okay.
A Little Life is too much. It's too much for
too much
me
feelings.
even. It'll be a lot for you. I think it'd be way too much.
See, I just love it. You know what works for me.
Yeah. But this book, oh my god.
Yeah.
This book is the softest.
It's romantic and sweet and kind-hearted and joyful.
I thought you would love it because of the red truck on the front.
Oh, that's my, I love
my mom
red
loves
trucks.
red trucks and she loves bikes.
And
so
I love bikes.
Those are like her things. And so I was like, Aristotle and Dante.
But I mean, she had talked so much about it for so long, and
I love that it's like 1980s Texas, and it's just like, and like the Mexican family in this book just really reminded me of our Mexican family, because my dad is like half Mexican, and so our whole family
we're
in
all
California,
Mexican.
Yeah, we're very Mexican, and so
beautiful culture.
Like just the talk in this book of like his parents, like Aristotle's family, it reminded me so much of Coco.
I know, I was gonna say that.
But just like the culture, I guess, and like even just the little like designs on this book looks very like Coco to me.
Yeah,
like,
you know, you're right.
It's just,
I do remember that. Yeah, it's a good warm heart. It's definitely a good read, and the writing style, once again, is. That has to always do for me is the style of writing, the author and stuff.
This book is so beautifully written. It's like lyrical. It's so beautiful. Just like the friendship between Aristotle and Dante throughout this whole book is just so cute and so innocent and pure. And Aristotle's just like one of my favorite characters. Like I don't know what it is, but like his perspective is just something I've really related to like so hard in this book. Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's such a sweetheart anyway.
Another 5. Yeah, I've reread this one like 3 times. Like I love this book.
How you do that? It's kind of like doing a puzzle over. Although I still keep them because
exactly. You
I
can
might
do it
forget
again.
how to put it together. So
Exactly.
You'll be like,
you forget the little itty bitty details, but you know you're gonna love it.
Right.
So it's great because then you read it again and then you love it.
Right.
Next up is the Colleen Hoover books that my mom has read. I'm pretty sure. Have you only read these 2?
I don't think so.
I think she's read more, but I can't remember the other ones. Yeah, I think she's read November 9.
Yes, I did.
2.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've read It Ends With Us.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, well, Ugly Love is one that you read like years and years and years ago. Do you remember anything about it?
No.
So it follows this guy Miles who's a pilot, and then he is God, it's been so long since I read this book.
I know.
There's this girl Tate, and she
I'm so glad.
It's like hate to love vibes between Miles and Tate. Isn't she like the love interest of like his best friend or brother or no? Okay, it's like they start like a friends with benefits scenario, remember? And then
you think I'd remember that.
They eventually get together, obviously. But yeah, I don't know.
Is that in the spine?
Clearly this one doesn't really hold up in my brain.
It was so long ago, like you said.
Yeah, I literally read this in like 2014, I think.
You should see how loved and worn
I know,
it
it's
is.
very like, the spine is cracked and it's very worn. Because I think Rachel read this one too, I'm pretty sure.
It's a good book. But
it was fine.
Colleen, I just love Colleen. So her style of writing is amazing.
Yeah. But then All Your Perfects. This is the one that I think you like the most, right? Colleen Hoover? Yeah. Mostly because this book kind of hits. It hits close to home. Because this book kind of talks about like infertility and how, you know, how much of a struggle that is and how difficult it can be when you really want to have a child and you are not able to at that time, and just how it really like affects every aspect of your life. And this book definitely kind of like dives headfirst into that topic and just kind of hits all of those feelings. So I know that this one really meant a lot to you.
I suffered with infertility for quite a while there, and thankfully I had a surgery that was able to, I had endometriosis and I didn't know. So I told the girls, you got to be careful, you might get the gift. I don't know if it will, but I'm just saying that, so it really touched home and stuff, and then just the things you have to go through and the emotions that, once again, it just brought me back, kind of. So there's triggers. So I mean, it was a really good read, and I had to have a box of Kleenex, and then I had a letter that I wrote prior to getting pregnant. I put my hands down to God. I said, you know, on my knees, this was like something I just had to let go of, and it describes a lot of the pain and everything I was going through. And after the book and returning the book, I gave her that note. It was appropriately the best time, because they both know that they were, you know, I was twice blessed, and how much they were really wanted. I mean, I was 36 and 38. Best things in life, you know. But yeah, the book is it touched home a lot.
Yeah, and it definitely gave me more like insight into like what like her feelings must have been like when she was going through that. So this book really connected us
on a deep level, you know. I didn't realize. She said, "Oh, Mom, you'll love it." You know, there's a mother-daughter. Oh my gosh, you know.
5 stars.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd give it more if there was
6
more
stars. And then on to the last book review. We saved one of the best for last because my mom is finally getting into thrillers, mystery thrillers. And so the very first one that I had her read was The One by John Mars. And I thought this would be a good place for her to start because this book kind of deals with like a romantic element in a way. So I thought it would be maybe a good segue into thrillers and more like creepy things.
This is where you really need notes.
Yeah.
Because
lots of characters.
Different characters in here. It was suspenseful. There's a particular character in here that I didn't know that it was called a mystery thriller sort of thingy, whatever. Each character, they do chapters, and they're real quick, which I really liked.
Short chapters.
Short. And it was about each of the people, each of the characters. So, and it would go kind of in order because I had my notes, and it seemed like, oh, page flip, it's the, you know, in the same order. So I just took like little notes that reminded me. Because at first you really, I'm not a good reader for this particular type of book yet. So just trying to remember, you know, what's going on. But it was well done too. There was plot twists in there that blew me away, you know, several times. And I think was this at the very end, there was just like so many. It was just like, good thing you have notes or a good memory anyway.
Yeah, this book is very like Black Mirror vibes. And I think the thing I love that makes this one so unique is that it's kind of like a thriller that's about like a universe where you can just take a DNA test and find out who the one is for you. Like you find your soulmate, like the person you're supposed to spend your life with.
Right. And
it's just very interesting. It's a very unique concept. I've never read anything quite like this. The places this book goes, it's kind of like, it almost makes you wonder, like, do you want to know something like that? Or would you rather just go about your life just like finding love on your own? Or do you want to know who you're supposed to end up with, like genetically?
So, like the way times are today, it's almost like it's not a stretch.
Yeah.
You know, especially with people taking DNA, but the part of like finding your exact match, the one for you. Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
it's very interesting.
It's would you want to know, or because it says you'll know. I mean, you're instantly, there's a connection right away. It was pretty interesting. You know, kind of stretches your mind a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So
very
that's always good. Absolutely.
Yes. And now she's currently reading The Guest List by Lucy Foley. And I thought this would be a really great one for her to read because this is like one of my favorite thrillers of the year. I just think it's really fun. It's kind of like another well, it's not like the one really, but it's like a whodunit murder mystery kind of book. Like, you know that somebody's murdered and killed, but you don't know who, and you don't know who did it, and it's just so much fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's because I've read the other book that had several characters in it. This one has quite a bit. I'm thinking of maybe getting a whiteboard and having each character in different colors and whatnot.
There you go.
Hint, hint. No, because there's so many different layers. I can feel it coming already, and it's a murder mystery, so you're thinking, who done it?
Yeah.
And you need to have clues from the very beginning, because you never know. They could be woven in there, but this is where it's fun, because I'm trying to learn, although I'm not so good at it, but predicting, because I've tried several times. Oh, this is going this way. No.
Yeah.
No. But there has been time where I called it.
Yep. So she's just 30 pages into this one right now. So this is like the perfect time of year, though, I think, to read this, because it's gonna be like,
for rain.
It's gonna be spooky season here pretty soon. So I think this one will be good. Any final thoughts on the books? Okay, you have to pick a top 3. Okay.
Well, it's already Evelyn.
Okay, yeah, but we're gonna pick my mom's top 3 out of these. Yes. All right, there you go. My mom's top 3 picks.
If I had to only pick 3.
Top 3 favorites right here.
Yes.
Right here.
I really loved their whole everything, and that they're all completely different.
Yes.
Which is great.
I would definitely agree with these picks. I think if I had to pick a top 3 out of these, I'd probably pick Evelyn, Aristotle and Dante, and On Honeymooners, because I'm a basic bitch.
Yeah. No, you're not.
I love On Honeymooners.
No, I mean,
this is my favorite book of 2019.
Yeah,
like my favorite.
That one I can totally see being a movie. That one,
yeah.
I mean, a lot of them.
Classics.
You know, but that one, oh, it'd be so cute.
All right. Well, yeah, of course.
I miss my girl. She lives out on her own now. Both of my girls together. So we are actually taping in her room at home here.
This is my old room.
Yeah.
Dude, if you've been a subscriber for a really long time, like early 2018 times, then you might recognize this room. It used to be my old room. I used to film in here like every day.
Now it's Mom's mom cave.
Yeah, now it's Mom's reading room.
I got my wine over there. I got my TV. I got my computer. I got beautiful
whole setup.
Memories here. Yeah,
it's a great room.
It is a great room. It's actually one of the best in the house.
It is.
It's the coolest, breeze-wise.
Biggest windows. Brightness.
Windows, bright.
I love you too. Alright, well, that just about wraps up this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, as always. And if you've read any of these books, then please let us know what your thoughts are on them. If you had to pick a top 3 like out of all of these, what would be your picks? Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
And I'll see you again very soon with a new video. Bye.